Okay, we are going to now proceed with painting the squares. So I've gone ahead and put a little bit of white paint in a reservoir. This is the palette, and each little dip in here is a reservoir. I put a little bit of white paint in there, and even less paint of black. So a little bit more of white, tiny bit of black. Black goes a long way. And I have the luxury of two palettes. Some of you may have a larger single one, which would be great. And I'm going to moisten my brush. I have a little bowl of water here. Just moisten it, shake it out, take a paper towel, whatever, and take the excess water out of it so that it's softer and pliable. You want to see how much water your own paint has before you start adding too much to it. And I'm going to start on this side of the page because it's to my right. And let's see, saying in your instructions to take some white paint, and I'm going to clean it off a little bit. And then just apply the paint. Now I've got this kind of brush where I have to be careful how I angle it. And you can see, at least I'm seeing on here, that even the white paint is more of a yellow color than the white of the board that I'm painting on. So I'm going beyond the lines that I drew, beyond the pencil lines, and I'm keeping my brush going the same way. You don't go up and down and across. You either choose up and down vertically or choose horizontally. Okay, so I have one square, and now I'm going to take the palette knife, and I'm going to take a little tiny drop of that and put it in the white paint reservoir. Just a little bit, mix it up. And just keep mixing it until it blends almost completely, so that you don't have too much white sticking out and or too much gray, otherwise it's going to show up. So you keep jamming the paintbrush into the reservoir. That's taking up a lot of my paint here. Picking it up, mixing it some more. And I'm examining it. I can see that it doesn't completely full on the end, so I'm going to get that. And I'm going to apply it to the next square. And it looks really gray. Light gray. And as far as doing intervals, which we discussed, it's a little bit too gray. I'm hoping I can use this square, but we'll see. So I want to go back and make it a little bit more white. This is where your extra palette knives come in, where you have, in this case, I'm going to see, actually pick like a plastic toothpick. Let me get a red one here so you can see it. And I'm going to put some of the white paint back in. Add extra paint here. And mix that up. Since I want it to be a little bit closer to white. I want it to be more of an off-white with a little bit of gray in it. Okay, got that mixed. Lift your brush as you get to the ends, and that'll reduce the streaks that you get. Okay, so you can see even on the camera here that it's a little bit lighter. I think I want to go back and make it even more light. So I'm putting more white back into this reservoir, mixing it up again. Going to the next square. Okay, so it's even lighter. Can't see what it looked like up next to there, but it's not bad. But just in case, let's do one more. This is where I'm saying that you're going to end up with about 20 or so. And I hope that you're observing that the way I did it, I put even as small a point of black, it was enough to just turn it dramatically. So this is what you're going to learn. The thing is, you're going to use more white than just about anything else, and black to darken, but the white for sure. And if so, you go back, if you use all yours up in your little tubes, you can go back to the store and try and buy the same brand of paint. Before I can even let that dry, I'm going to see if I can't make it more white. Sorry if I sound like I'm talking to myself, because I am. One thing you want to avoid is having the paint dry completely and then going back and applying paint over it, because it's going to make it thick and hard to cut, and you're going to be cutting these squares out. Let's see, we're at 6 minutes, and it takes a very long time for these videos to download, so I'm going to leave it at this, and this is where you're going to progress. Just keep going, and I will show you, let's see, one more. I'm going to take the black again, put it back in there, because I sort of want to get back to where I was before. Pause for a moment here. Okay, I kept mixing the paint. I didn't want to keep running the video with that. Kept mixing the paint, dabbed a little bit of it here, and yes, it's darker than this one, and that's what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that down here. And again, try to lift your brush as you get to the end. And here it's covering up my lines, my pencil lines, which is not a bad thing. Okay. And you're going to continue in this manner, adding the levels to get dark. And once you get them all done, you get this whole sheet, and you may use another one. You're going to be selecting the ones that you want to use by cutting them out. But I've got to run this video now so that make sure that it's in time for the class. Okay.